season 9, episode 7, where we watch WWE Let's Fucking Go. I mean, Legend and Future Greats, season 1, episode 1. And I want the guy that wants it. I'm Chris Lorenz.
If I was a fan, I would have thought it was a good time to go to the bathroom. This is Brian.
They may never see you later, alligator. This is Max.
Those were all quotes from this week's show. But last week, we watched a different show that I didn't pull up on Twitter, which I'm going to talk slowly so I can pull it up on Twitter.
Best
so
of luck.
Find out the results of the poll. And we had a poll up for Extracted.
Oh, yeah.
You guys voted it a top 3rd show.
Getting those results was like getting a tooth extracted. See, it all comes together.
Now, another thing I usually do before the podcast, but Brian, do you have the show description for this week's show?
I do not, so I'm going to quickly pull it up just in the same way. All right. WWE LFG. It gives people a new view, a look at what it truly takes to make it into the WWE. That is the best show description that I could find in like 5 seconds.
All right. Sounds good. All right. I'll give you what happens in the show. 16 contestants. They're vying to be in the WWE. And they're going to be on the show. And the winner of the show gets an NXT contract, which NXT, if you're not aware, is like the entry-level WWE kind of place to be.
Is it like Raw, the minor leagues?
Kind of. They have Raw and SmackDown, which are like the Monday night on Netflix and the Friday night on Fox. And then NXT is like their newbie kind of place. That's once a week. I don't know where that actually is. It might be on Peacock. So where it used to be. I don't know where it is now. So these are like, they're not even in like the minor league for WWE. These are like people trying to be in the minor league.
Gotcha.
And then the whole concept of this is just The Voice with rolly chairs.
The Voice. Not really. I mean, isn't The Voice that they have like a X button or something?
Well, they're all like trying to judge like their performances and bring them onto their team so then they can train them and then compete with them.
Yeah, the whole mentor thing is very The Voice, but the rest of the show felt to me like Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders who are you America's Next Top America's Dallas Cowboy cheerleader.
All right. Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
They really 16 people. They're going to get a mentor. They're going to get Booker T, Mickey James, Bubba Ray Dudley, or The Undertaker as their mentor. And then the mentor that has the person that wins gets a belt, and the person that wins gets the NXT contract. And this episode, we see like essentially the 4 hosts just kind of watch the people work out and do like training, and then they watch them do like on the mic bit, which, by the way, by far the best part. And then they pick 4 people to do a match, and then they get to decide who, quote unquote, won the match, which isn't the person that won the match, but the person that they thought won the match, did better in the match. And then the winner overall for the women's and the men's gets to pick their mentor.
Yeah,
and that kind of was what happened in this episode. I feel like this might be another short and sweet podcast, but we'll see. Now that I said it, it probably won't be, but like...
Yeah, you jinxed it.
I jinxed
God damn
it.
Okay. Every time, Chris.
But
no,
I mean,
there's a lot. Go ahead.
Yeah, like I think I really, really liked just hearing a lot of the just, hey, here, I'm going to make my own intro. Some of them, or most of them, were bad, but some of them was like they had a little bit to them. They were learning, and I think that was like easily better than just like learning wrestling moves.
The best part of WWE in general is the mic stuff. by
Yeah.
far. Like when you get Dwayne Johnson and you get Stone Cold up there, just like just shouting at other people, other men in tights, lubed up. It's just so good. Like it's just you can't pass that up. Like watching somebody get like mostly hurt when they fall off, like when they jump off a ladder. Yeah, I could go without that. I don't need that.
Yeah. When I saw that the Undertaker was on, I immediately looked up like best quotes from him, and there are some gold ones. Like, "I'm gonna kick your teeth so far down your throat you'll be able to chew your own ass for pissing me off."
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah, that's the
I
stuff you
mean,
look for.
it
Yeah.
seems like the Taker is taking all of these WWE reality offers. He did the interactive show. I think he was on Legends House, possibly.
Um, do you you got to pull back that interactive one, don't you? Quote
That
unquote
doesn't exist
reality
anymore,
show
does it?
that no one can do it. No one can do it anymore, Max.
I'm sure you can find a recording of somebody doing it on Daily Motion.
Don't seek it out. It's not good. You can listen to our podcast on it. That was pretty good. I don't remember the name of it, but it's the other WWE show we've done. Sure, it's WWE something.
WWE, America's Next Top Haunted House.
Yeah. So the show takes place at what is called the WWE Performance Center. So it's like a gym where they train people to be WWE stars, I guess. And it's like a bunch of rings and like weights. And at some point, we get to see like a leaderboard. And there's like one guy at the top of the leaderboard in all the things, but then he was terrible at the mic. And yeah, that's where this place things takes place. That's all you need to know. Yeah, so we get the four people. So like I watched WWE back in the '90s and
Mm-hmm.
early aughts with Dwayne Johnson and Stone Cold Steve Austin, as you could tell. But well, who also? There are other people that were there. Were Booker T. I remember Booker T. The Dudley Boys were there, so Bubba Ray Dudley, and the Undertaker obviously was there. He's been there since I think the inception of wrestling. I think he's always been there. But Mickey James, I have no idea who that person is.
Would you say, based on your history with the WWE, you were more invested in the show than somebody who wasn't?
More invested, probably, but like
Okay.
not as invested. Like if you're a WWE super fan, like
Yeah.
I know somebody at work that's like literally he watches every single WWE event, Monday night, Thursday night, Friday night, whatever they got going on the weekends. He's watched it.
I hope he works on your company's WWE product.
Yeah, so he's the one that sets up like the roster and who gets what points and what order and stuff. So like he's very well informed to do that kind of work. Would he like the show? I don't know. Like, is it interesting if you've like watched NXT to see who's like see the like next tier below NXT? I don't know. I think it was kind of cool to see like when the four judges were in their soft leather chairs, as you described it, and like given the beef to the people on the stage, like the guy that had like the Dudley Boys beef, Braden BJ,
Yeah.
had some sort of made up beef with
Bubba?
Dudley, Bubba, where Bubba wouldn't shake anyone's hand because he didn't earn the right to shake his hand. And Braden BJ was the first one to try to shake his hand, and that's when he said it. So he used that in his promo, and I thought it was going well, but it was kind of edited to a point where I couldn't really tell what was going on. Like I couldn't tell if Bubba was having like real beef or like he was the WWE Bubba and having some fake beef with this guy.
It was weird editing. I think they were trying to be cute and it just didn't really work.
But I
I
thought
mean,
BJ was pretty good on the mic.
his first one was just so fucking bad. Like
This
once,
is frat bro.
yeah, like he was like, "Oh, I got like knocked out by this kick from the head from a girl," and the first thing everybody was
Oh,
crying, but my
That's
first thing was, "What's your Snapchat?" And I'm like, "What the fuck is he talking about? Who's gonna say that on the stage?" And I'm
that's
glad
true.
that Booker
That was,
T booked me, backed me up.
that's true. That was pretty bad. I think the best part was Shiloh Hill did like a great mic drop when he had to like do one on one with Booker T or something, and he like brought
Mhm.
out his like animal side. Very good. Best part of the show.
Yeah, he definitely sounded like a wrestler. He just needed to incorporate that into his first one. He needed to have the mix of like calm and then bring out the energy.
So some other notes of some other people that I have written down. There was somebody named so the last Danny Ray was a cheerleader. She was a college cheerleader and then a
uh,
professional cheerleader.
what college, Chris?
Penn State, go
Penn
State.
State. Go State.
Let's go. Let's go. We are. Uh, like being, I feel like peak cheerleading is that show Cheer, you know, where they like their junior championship, junior cheerleaders, and they go do some crazy routine. Like I don't see any of those crazy routines at, professional football games or college football games. Like
I
I
agree.
you
Adult
only
cheerleaders really have it easy, if we're being honest.
right? Like I don't know what level you're doing that stuff at, but it appears to be not professional. When you say I'm a professional cheerleader, that means nothing to me. That means
Based on the movie Bring It On, I think you have to do it in your like sophomore year of high school.
based on the 30-year-old movie Bring It On that our whole audience has seen.
Yeah.
Very culturally relevant context. So she is one of the ones that gets picked to be at the end for a match. And then the other person they pick is Tyra, which she has a gold medal. She won for freestyle at the Olympics. I don't know what freestyle is, but she won it. And she's like a heel. There's like the heel is the bad guy, and the baby face is the good guy.
Insane terminology. The
Yeah,
heel I kind of get.
you get the
Baby
heel.
face.
I mean, how else are you going to say good guy? What would you use?
Guy with a gun, right? Go America.
Go America. Yeah. So she ends up winning her like she won the match, but then she also won 3-1 for the judges' votes. So she got to pick who she wanted, and she wanted the Undertaker. So she's now under the Undertaker.
Good choice.
And then the other one, we have Shiloh Hill, which you already mentioned with the great mic drop. And then Anthony Luke, which I believe is the one that had the number one on the leaderboards or whatever. No one cares. It's fine. But the one thing to note about him is that Maxine Dupree, which seems to be a WWE superstar already, she is
Mhm.
like his girlfriend or more. I didn't catch the context.
Yeah,
So he's
he's
a nepo significant other.
Yeah, he's definitely got some in here for this competition. So I'd watch out for that guy. So he is in the competition, and he is I think the only one in this episode that actually said, let's fucking go.
no.
Uh,
Shawn Michaels did the beginning.
oh, yeah, we didn't mention Shawn Michaels. Not that there's anything to mention.
Yeah,
And then Anthony Luke won his match 3-1 again, and he chooses Booker T to be his mentor, and that's the end of the episode.
Yeah, that's about it. There's one guy who is the son of Evander Holyfield, who's apparently a big name.
yeah, that's kind of
Yeah,
nuts.
Uh,
Elijah Holyfield.
Yeah. No, that's the son's name. I was saying the
Yeah.
father's name. There was some lady whose like backstory was her real father was deported by ICE, and that's kind of an insane way to channel your trauma. But you know what? Whatever works for you.
Yeah, she like cries about it on the stage. It is, it'd be interesting to know when ICE deported him. We know he was deported on her birthday, but I guess they probably filmed this a while ago, so
Yeah.
it is
It's
one of those like Survivor esque things where like, okay, so you say you win the show, right?
yeah.
Well, they're not going to let you be in NXT until the show is out, right? Like you can't
Yeah.
let you don't know who the winner. You can't let people know who the winner is, right? So
No.
now
Sure.
you got to wait months to hopefully months to
You can
like for the
probably
show to air.
you can probably still participate in the lower league.
I don't think there's a lower league to NXT. That's what I'm telling you.
Mm,
Yeah.
Like you train and then you're in NXT, which is
gotcha,
real. Like
gotcha.
you go out and do matches and stuff. If you're not in NXT, you're not doing matches.
Yeah. It's fine. You got the contract though. You can wait it out.
I mean, that's a lot of weightlifting and cutting to do to like sit around.
Uh, There's gonna be more practice and stuff. I'm sure that like you're gonna learn a lot, but at the same time, there's way more. I'm
No, Brian, it sucks. Okay, just accept it.
all right. I'm gonna accept it,
Don't
but
try to play devil's advocate here, Brian.
I'm
It
gonna look forward to that
sucks.
first match.
Yeah, I mean, it is. Modern day Survivor, you know if you won or not. Old school Survivor, you don't know if you won until it airs live after the
Oh
finale
yeah.
match. I guess it's not really the same.
One of the other things that you made me think about is like obviously her story is like a sob story, but like having like one of those is like really good for the WWE. Having that good backstory.
I mean, you kind of want to start with a backstory, but like it can hamper you. Like Dwayne Johnson was like, if you've seen early Dwayne Johnson stuff, he had like his dad was in wrestling and he had that Nepo baby
Oh yeah.
storyline, and he didn't really shine until he got rid of that Nepo baby stuff. He was like, I'm gonna be the Rock. Like he got the Rock persona. It has nothing to do with like his Nepo storyline.
I
How
think
common is it that people's like wrestling storyline comes from their real life? Is semi autobiographical.
I don't know, dude.
Like I imagine the Iron Sheik isn't actually a sheik.
How do you know?
well,
I think a lot of that stuff depends on what era you like come into the WWE. Like nowadays, it feels like a lot of people are like their own names, you know.
hmm,
Whereas like back in the day, you were the Iron Sheik, or you
The
were
Undertaker,
Undertaker, or you were the Rock. Like,
Grave Digger.
yeah, there. I mean, there's lots of examples, but now it seems more nowadays. You're just your name, and like that's who you are. But I'm legitimately surprised that they do that more because like the WWE can't own your name, I assume, right?
Wasn't there a whole thing with The Rock where they didn't want
Yeah.
to give him the rights to The Rock?
There was some beef with The Rock about The Rock, but like that's why I went by Dwayne Johnson for a while, like
yeah, I
early
guess
on in his movie career. And then they like I feel like Dwayne Johnson just kind of went back to wrestling for a bit and they're just like, okay, you can be The Rock or have some sort of deal where you get to use The Rock.
that
But
that's
that's
when
the
you know
thing.
you're not cut out. It's like, okay, we're good with the name. You're good.
Well, that's the thing is what confuses me is like, okay, if you give people cool names like The Rock, you can own the name The Rock, but you can't own Dwayne Johnson or Kurt Angle, right? Like you can't earn those, like you can't own those names. The I assume, right?
I mean, there's that whole like NCAA thing where it's like names and stuff like that. I don't know. I
I
don't know
don't
how
know
much like
anything about NCAA and names.
yeah, I thought there was like a whole thing with like that and certain rights and everything.
Well,
Anyway,
there's always
oh
like sports. If you try to make like a sports game that's like college football or whatever, college basketball, you have to get the rights for every name from
yeah,
people. You, like you can't just like you can't blanket get it. You gotta like I don't know. I don't know how it works. I don't care. Why are we getting into that?
yeah.
Whatever.
This is
It was the most of the show is watching the four like big superstars just kind of critique and give advice to the younger guys. That's most of the
yeah,
show.
which is fine to an extent. But ultimately, like, it doesn't create those like memorable moments that like we want to talk about. Like, it's surprising when you said that like you didn't have like many quotes. Like, this whole thing is just like pretty much quotes. That's it. Like, we're not talking about like their moves and everything. It's just it was like most of the show was just them talking and like doing their intros, and then it was the
Yeah,
match.
I
I
just didn't
mean,
write them down. I didn't write a lot down.
I do think it was smart of the show to really start you off with like these characters. You know, not. Oh, I'm sorry, my microphone was fucked up. I think it's smart to start this off with like let's get into their characters, not how good are they at doing a double Willie Nelson Ollie 360.
Completely agree, especially since wrestling is like all about this like kind of dance because like you don't want people to get hurt, but then you got to make it look real. Like that's a whole different skill, but you got to have the
Yeah,
backstory.
we didn't really get a baseline of like we saw the matches, we saw them kind of practice a bit, but we didn't get like the critiques of like, ooh, you flattened your back there, you should have not done that, you know, or like you really hurt that person there doing that move that way.
Yeah,
So there's like some form of competency already involved. All right, who's the worst human being?
hmm. Is it that BJ guy for just having like fake beef that kind of seemed real? Um,
Um, trying to
or is it
think
just
of who it could be.
could also be Bubba because he was just picking shit and didn't seem like critiquing.
I I hard to tell if that was like a bit or not.
Yeah,
That's my thing with that. I don't know. I don't know if there really is one. I feel like it could be like the WWE for just being dicks to their former.
Yeah, what about just Vince McMahon
okay,
and
there we
Linda?
go. Is Vince McMahon even
Although,
still doing it?
fun fact: Vince McMahon doesn't own WWE anymore.
All right. So
But
maybe this is in the clear.
he's got to be somehow involved still, right?
No, he's not. So you didn't know? You don't know what happened?
No, I know he got kicked out because of like sexual something or another, but
No. Okay.
he's got to have some investments in it.
No.
No?
So here's what happened. Vince McMahon voluntarily stepped away when all those allegations were coming out. And then, like 6 months or a year later, he decided he was going to come back. And then, while he was back, he was looking for a buyer, I guess. Somebody bought, so the UFC bought WWE
Oh, that's crazy.
from Vince McMahon for, like, Vince McMahon's like a billionaire at this point. So, there you go. There's the short snippet there for you.
Thank you for the quick history lesson.
Apparently, a Triple H is now like the head of content for WWE. And Shawn Michaels, which is in this episode, we didn't talk about him, but he's like the head of talent or talent acquisition or something. I don't know.
Yeah, he's in there for like 5 seconds, and that's fine.
He's there longer. He's just not like shown that many times. He's like there with the wrestling matches. He's there. It's just not one of the four judges or whatever.
No, and his view's not going to matter.
He also is the one that reads out the like points at the people to like try to get the who won. He's there.
I get it, but like, is it meaningful?
He's there, Brian. He's there like the whole episode.
Is it meaningful? No.
No. Is anything in this episode meaningful?
A little bit more than that.
I don't know about that.
All right, Brian. Since you're drinking, give me your drinking roll.
Every time somebody goes on a yelling rant, take a drink.
Anytime somebody looks hurt, take a drink. Max.
Uh,
Eh,
every time the judges don't like your stick, take a drink.
your
Ooh.
stick.
Your stick.
Every time somebody bounces off the ropes, take a drink.
Trying to kill people, Brian?
Yeah, we're going back to that.
All right. What speed do you think Max watched the show at, Brian?
Man, this is tough because this was like weird. I'm gonna go. I can't just do one. I'm gonna do 1.5.
I want to say 2, but I feel like he had some sort of technical limitation to get to 2. But I'm going to go with 2. Max, what speed did you watch the show at?
Boo, 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 it's 2.
Woo! Winner,
Okay,
winner!
Damn. Yeah, you gotta keep them guessing. I've had quite a lot of ones in a row lately.
Too many ones. You ruining the bit.
yeah,
Thank you for watching it at 2x now.
We're back in
and then whoever goes
business.
first always picks one.
I will also note I watched this on ane.com, or maybe aetv.com. I don't fucking know. And B, when I launched the player, it played like the last section of the show first, and I didn't realize. Like I didn't click around.
Weird.
So
We
yeah,
didn't talk about that. Like, it seems like next episode, they like all go and wrestle in like a real arena with like a real why can't I think of crowd? Thanks for the saving,
a
guys.
real crowd.
A real crowd, and they pick the like people who you're mentoring from like a bingo thing. What do they call that thing, Brian?
Like the ball. I don't actually know what that's called.
Yeah, what's it called, Brian? You go to bingo every freaking week. What is it
Yeah,
called?
but I've never like known like what that basket's called. It's just like the ball roller.
It could be called the ball roller. That sounds like the name of it, to be honest with you.
Oh, machine cage.
Which seems
Yeah,
like the
just
lamest way
cage.
to pick. How is this not like a backyard basketball pick? Like Undertaker, you go first, Booker T, and then like snake it. Like,
Yeah, I think that's a much more fun way.
yeah,
But
this is
the bingo thing's
BS.
a little fair. I don't know.
Is the bingo thing fair?
Yeah, I mean it's random.
I feel like the snake thing's more fair. Like you get to pick who you think is gonna win. Like I want to know who Undertaker thinks is gonna win. I don't want Undertaker to like pick, not like have to throw somebody out there he doesn't want, he doesn't think's gonna win.
I mean, okay, well
Right?
then like if you're like putting that in there, then yeah, it makes more sense to snake it. But yeah,
Right.
if you just want completely random and see what people got, yeah.
Well, I wouldn't mind like random the bottom half. You know, let them pick their top male, top female, and then
Okay.
bottom. Like let the bottom, because like you don't want those bottom people. You don't. You know, you want them to work for it, but you don't want them to be demoralized by getting picked last, right? But
Yeah, I could see
you know,
that. Just pick the first
could be
couple
your
people and
story.
like
Could be your story. I was picked last in this motherfucking show, and I proved it. Ah!
and
They
then you
could
challenge
just
the Undertaker.
release. They could release the who's on each team all at once, so nobody feels last.
No. Well, that's why I'm thinking. Like, if you would just randomize the last 8, you know, no one's last, right? Like, you're just, this is who you are. Whereas, like, the first 8 you get to pick, which I think would be more fun. But that's just me. Would this show be better as a TikTok or Quibi?
I think it could be split apart and then be like, okay, I can like see like the good quips and everything. Then maybe it'd be
Like,
better.
if you truncate the show to just being the like match and the like the on mic stuff, potentially. I do think that the editing of the show is a little weird and it's a little like unfocused. Like I think that's the main point about like this episode I find is it's unfocused. There's a lot of just lingering and nothing's happening that's like important.
I very much agree. It did not feel like a good use of my time.
But well, I guess we'll get in. Let's do ratings. I don't know if we really care about the TikTok question. I'm gonna go with no. I think it's too long, but I don't think it'd be better as a Quibi or a TikTok. All right, so we do a rating system where we do a stack ranks between top, middle, and bottom third. Some people stack rank in their stack ranks. Max, what do you got for me?
This show, I was not very interested. I'm gonna say bottom third, but top of the bottom.
Brian, what do you got?
I'm conflicted. I have like a small love for this type of stuff, but I don't actively watch it. And the stuff that I saw in here was fun. It was like that same, it triggered that like same little love that's in there. Um, it's just also unfortunately that you're training the people to come up. And so you get like this like weaker version. I'm gonna put bottom of the middle. I want to watch the next episode to see what happens, but I also don't know like how much I'm going to get out of it.
All right. So Noah sent me his rating. He rated it middle of the top.
Classic
Ooh,
Noah, completely off the charts.
All right.
Well, okay, so I do know
I-
Noah has some WWE like
Here, I have
fondness.
more. I have more. Clearly enjoyed the show. I like the WWE lore and appreciate seeing the hustle of the recruits. Also fun to get to learn some inside baseball about this business. I like to watch more, but I don't have A&E. I'm also nervous the novelty of episode 1 wears off. Machismo gets old.
Yeah,
So
that
they-
is actually
Okay.
that is actually one thing we didn't talk about. Like it was also very male focused.
I mean, have you seen the WWE?
Yeah, but
Like,
like there's a reason why like now it's like getting like you're actually like building up
there's
female
women.
talent.
There's women in the WWE.
Yeah,
Let's be
but
clear.
like that hasn't happened like for so many years. Like now,
Not
like you were
true.
like
Absolutely not true. There's always
no, like
women.
it's way bigger now. Like it's grown, but it's like still not even like the same level.
Look, let's be clear. Let's take
Yeah,
it.
no,
Take,
I no, I agree that
hold your
there's
horses,
been.
Brian. Hold your horses. There's
All right.
always been women. They got rid of the diva name like 10 years ago, 15 years ago, probably at this point. And like they've always had women stars, but like the majority of people that watch wrestling are men. Let's be clear.
Yeah.
So obviously this show is going to be more male focused because it's like there's women, but like in general, just wrestling's for men. Like in general, I'm sure
Yeah, of
that
course.
they've tried. They can do as much as they can to get women involved, but it is what it is. Anyway, as for my rating, I definitely struggle with this show because I think this is like the quintessential reality show. Is like I want to see you take 16 people, try to train them to do something, and then compete and see what happens. Like that seems like a really fun show. And the show was fine. It was actually a good show while I was on my phone. Like I was just on my phone on Reddit and like
I
it was
buy that.
fine. And you know, and I think it will get better as like people get like actual judges or hosts or not like they get actual people to help them and like you get to know them more. So it's like I'm willing to invest, I think, in this show. Like so I'm gonna go with no on this one. I'm gonna put it in the top third. But only because I want to have faith that it does better. Like this show in general, I think this episode in general is probably more of a middle third because I think it's too unfocused and should have been 40 minutes instead of an hour. And they easily could have cut 20 minutes out of this for sure. Which I'm finding lately, like I don't know why the 90-minute show is like the new normal. Like your shows are not, you don't have the content for 90 minutes. Like I'm watching TikToks. They're 60 motherfucking seconds, people. Like adding an extra half hour to your show, that's so much time.
If anything, they're optimizing for these second screen shows.
No,
That frustrates me to no end. That we're like now they're designing shows around this shit, and it's like our attention spans have been so shit that
It's
like
fucked.
no. I mean, I haven't looked up anything like this, but I think the whole push for 90 minutes is like, okay, if you look at how many people watch a show, say it's like 2 million people watch Survivor at 60 minutes. And if 1.7 of them watch it at 90 minutes, that is better ROI because it doesn't cost that much more to make a 90-minute show. You have more advertisements for a 90-minute show, and you only need to make 2 shows on network television to fill a whole night versus 3 if you have a 60-minute show.
all fair points. I would also just thought that maybe this might link up to like how long WWE typically is. It's probably like 2 hours or more. So they're already used to long content.
WWE, I think, is 2 hours. It used to be 2 hours for SmackDown and 3 hours for Raw. I don't know what it is now. But yeah. But this isn't the only show that does like this 90-minute thing. Survivor, all the 90-Day Fiancés, Married at First Sight, all of them started doing 90-minute shows like forever ago. So there you have it.
They should do 90-minute fiance.
Yeah, they did. They did. We did. We watched it. It was called The Proposal. You remember that?
No, I'm saying you should literally be on the show. It's like 24, but every minute of the show is every minute you're with your fiance, and you have to make the decision within 90 minutes. Do you want to be with this person for the rest of your life?
Yeah. Go listen to our episode on The Proposal.
I don't remember the proposal. Maybe I was
It
gone.
was literally like an hour-long show where like they don't know each other, but at the end they have to propose. It's like legitimately
Wow.
really terrible.
That sounds exactly like what I want. I'm sorry. I'm sorry I doubted you.
All right, tell us what you thought about the show at Who Put This on Twitter. Vote in our poll. Tell us what you thought. Next week, Max, we're gonna watch the Alec Baldwin reality show.
Yep.
What's it called?
Keeping up with the Baldwins? I don't know. Let's see. Alec Baldwin reality.
That's hilarious if that's the name of the show, which I think it is.
No way. What the fuck is it called? Hold on. Sorry. I'm having trouble.
It's called
The Baldwins. Fucking boring. Get a better name.
Yeah, so we're gonna watch the Baldwins next week.
Don't Google it, but do you guys know the lore behind his wife?
He has a wife?
Yes. There's some great lore. Don't Google it. I'll tell you all about it next week.
All right. There's some lore tease for
Oh
you.
yeah.
Brian, any shout outs this week?
Not anything new. Just kind of watched The Village recently. Still a pretty good movie.
The M. Night Shyamalan movie, Joint.
Lamb Ding Dong, yeah.
It's too bad because I liked M. Night, and then I saw his like, what was the movie called?
Trap.
No, not long before
Old?
that. It was something to do where this like they were in a hotel and there was a pool and there was like such a bad movie, and it was right before The Village. Let me see.
Yeah.
Don't remember.
Let's see. Wasn't The Happening? That was also a bad movie. Lady in the Water. Lady in the Water broke me, and I saw The Happening, but I don't think I've seen many M. Night movies after that. Anyway,
That's fair.
Max, any shout outs?
Been playing Avowed. Pretty fun. available on Xbox Game Pass and Xbox consoles near you and PCs.
I feel like there's been a lot of good TV on lately. Let's see, The White Lotus. Have you guys been watching White Lotus?
Only first episode, but yeah, back
Uh,
at it.
it's back. It's very similar to season 1 and 2. Like he's got like a vibe going now, but I don't find the characters of this season all like super interesting. He really needs to like something needs to happen. Like nothing's really happened, which is like not great for a TV show. But my real shout out this week is Win or Lose, which is a Pixar TV show. It is amazing. It's about like it's an anthology show about like kids baseball. The first episode's about one of the kids having anxiety about not being good enough, and then the second episode's about like the ref and like how like he's dealing with an ex and trying to move on or not move on. It is like Pixar at its best. So I would highly encourage you to watch Win or Lose.
I'm intrigued.
All right.
It's on Disney Plus. Probably the best thing they've ever made. Like it's not even close.
That's
I've only seen 2 episodes.
wait, are you talking about like TV shows or movies?
Disney Plus, like things that go right to Disney Plus.
Oh, okay.
Like if a movie is theatrically released and then to Disney Plus, like what does that even mean? Is like Pinocchio? Does that count? I don't know.
No. Okay, so I mean, yeah, because that puts it up against stuff like Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, stuff like that.
Yeah, which that is also a good show, but it's not as good.
Yeah,
I might be
That's a good-
hyping it
that's
up
a good
too
problem.
much, but I think it's really good. Anyway,
Time to find
that's
out.
what we thought about the show. Tell us what you thought about the show on Twitter at Who With This On. You can find us on Facebook.com/Who With This On. You can email us questions and suggestions at whowiththison@gmail.com. And we're now on YouTube at Who With This On. So you can watch us there. You can give us comments. Let me know how that works out. Tell us if you want a video version of this. And, we probably won't do it, but we could. So we'll see you guys next time.